Welcome to Timeless Tales and Wisdom Stories, where we share folklore, fables, and parables of the ancient world. Together, we'll discover hidden treasures of the past and learn profound life lessons. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. With your support, we'll keep these traditions alive in the hearts and minds of a new generation. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story.
There was a boy who was the son of a shepherd who was respected in the village for his hard work and honesty. However, the boy was quite mischievous. His parents, seeking to encourage him to mature and put away his recklessness, reasoned that increasing his responsibilities on the farm would make him a man and put an end to his impishness.
Now, son, you will soon be a man, and in many years when I am old it will be your duty to continue our family's legacy, caring and tending to this herd of sheep we have worked so hard to raise. I believe you are old enough now to take the sheep to pasture and protect them while they are grazing on the grass on the hillside. You know how precious these sheep are to our family's prosperity, and how important their wool and meat is to the well-being of our entire village. Take the sheep out to the grasslands at dawn and return at dusk when their bellies are full. Take care, for you must be vigilant at all times, watching the sheep closely to ensure that none are hurt or lost. And you will take my musket and fire it as a signal if there is any danger from wild beasts. The men of the village will all come immediately to dispatch any animal that would steal and murder the livestock that we depend on. Now, my son, do you understand the grave responsibility I have placed in your hands?
Yes, Papa, I will do as you say.
At dawn, the boy awoke, and his mother gave him a small loaf of bread and some hard cheese. She handed him his father's musket and kissed his forehead.
Be careful, my son. There is talk of a wolf who roams the grasslands where the sheep graze. If there is any sign of wild beasts, fire your father's musket as a signal, and all the men of our village will rush to your aid.
The cold air stung the boy's cheeks as he set off to take the sheep to the hilly grassland where they graze. The hours passed calmly as the boy sat under a large oak tree as the sheep gleefully munched the green grass. At midday the boy ate his bread and his cheese and began to grow impatient. He looked up to the sun and shouted angrily,
Mr. Sun, I think you should begin to set now. It's been a long day and everyone would be a lot happier if it was nighttime soon.
But the sun hung in the sky, unmoved by the boy's plea. For the next hour he tried to get the sun's attention by throwing rocks at the sun. But his attempts were in vain. He then began to examine his father's musket closely. He shouldered it and placed his finger on the trigger. The boy walked about the herd of sheep aiming the musket at them and mimicking wolf howls.
If there was any wild beasts, it wouldn't matter if there was 10,000. I wouldn't be scared one bit. I'd use my father's musket and quickly dispatch all of them. They would meet their end and be sorry they met a boy as brave as me. I wish even one wolf would come and try to take one of my sheep. Indeed, the villagers would hear the report of my musket and by the time they arrived, would say I had killed that vile wolf all by myself. I'll be lauded as a hero and given a fine feast of meat.
When suddenly, he tripped, dropping the musket and setting it off. The shot rang loudly and the sheep scattered. Down in the valley he heard the echoes of the men in the village calling "Wolf! Wolf!" as all the men of the village rushed up the hill bearing pitchforks, swords, and muskets. The boy began to panic as he saw the men running up the hill. His father soon came to him with grave urgency.
My son, where is that cursed wolf? We heard the musket signal and have come to dispatch that vile beast.
The boy, ashamed of his folly and surrounded by the men of the village, told a lie rather than admitting his wrongdoing.
The wolf, he ran off quickly to the other side of the hill at the sound of my shot.
Quickly, boy, take the sheep home and protect them while we men scour the mountainside for the vicious cur.
As the boy returned home with the sheep, his shame turned into pride. He boasted to himself,
Oh, those vainglorious fools! Searching for a wolf that isn't there. How I played such a good trick on them.
He laughed himself into hysterics, marveling at how one small boy could send all the brave men of the village on such a fool's errand. Long after the sheep had been put away, the sun had set and the evening meal was finished, the embattled shepherd returned to his home.
Husband, you've been gone so long this night. I pray you were victorious. Was it you who finally dispatched that vile wolf?
I wish it were so, good wife. In truth, we men walked for miles upon the rocky hillside, and through dark forests searching tirelessly. And not one of us men saw a trace of any wolf. Not tracks, nor hair, nor scat. As our tireless hunt stretched into the night, it became clear to us there was no wolf on the mountainside. Son, you'd best go to bed now. It is very late and you must rise before dawn to take the sheep to graze the hillside pasture.
Yes, father.
At dawn, once again the boy took his father's musket and the sheep and trotted off in the cool orange-grey light of morning to the green hillside pasture to graze the sheep. And once again at midday the boy grew restless. He cursed the innocent sheep and kicked rocks at their heels to make them bleat and scatter.
I wish a wolf would come and gobble up every last one of you wretched sheep. Then I would not have to spend all my days here on a hillside watching you stupid things eat grass. I want to play and make good mischief, steal apples, and tease the other children.
It was just at that moment that, over the hill slinked a sly grey wolf. His bones protrude under his coarse fur, for he was near starving and had wandered many days in search of food before coming upon the boy and his sheep.
Well now, after these many days without food, I thought I would surely starve to death. And what do I find here? A green pasture full of well-fattened sheep. And just one chubby little boy watching over them. I don't think I've ever seen such a grand feast before me in all my days.
The boy was startled at the sight of the large stooping wolf upon the hilltop and fired his father's musket at once. Once again, a shot rang out through the hills and the valley below. He paused, looking to the valley, and listened breathlessly to hear once more the echoes of men's voices crying out wolf in assembly of the hunt. But this time there was just silence. When he looked up to the hill where the wolf was, he was gone. The boy panicked and started to shout.
Wolf! Wolf! Come quickly! There's a wolf, I say!
But he was too far away for any of the villagers to hear him. He screamed louder, his voice breaking in terror that they would not come.
Wolf! Wolf! Come quickly! Don't you men have any sense of bravery, of duty, of courage?
At that moment, he smelled the stench of a wild beast as hot breath puffed the back of his neck.
Yes, boy. As you wished. Here I am.
Shaking nervously, the boy turned quickly and grunted as he swung the musket at the prowling beast like a club. The wolf swiftly dodged and pounced on top of the boy's chest. The wolf's green eyes glowed as slobber dripped from his spiked yellow teeth. His putrid, stinking and ravenous mouth inches from the boy's face.
And now, boy, since you cried out for me with all your strength, I have come to gobble you up.
The boy cried out as the wolf ate him in one bite. His final chilling scream echoed through the valley. And yet, none of the villagers came to his rescue.
Ah, the ceaseless shouting of that impudent young man. Indeed, he must be having another one of his temper tantrums. No, boy, the men of this village will not be made fools by your lies again.
At nightfall, the shepherd collected up his sheep from the hillside, but the boy was nowhere to be found. The boy who cried wolf was never seen henceforth. Yet, the villagers say some days when the strong winds blow through the hills, they can still hear the boy's cries.